Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spotlights with Civic Morning Musicals. My name is Robbie Padilla, and I am a board member of CMM. And it is my pleasure today to speak with Dr. David Rudari. We'll be hearing a little interview and a little performance. He's going to perform Beginning My Studies by Lee Hoiby with Asami Hagiwara on piano. And I know some of your recent performances with CMM were in the past couple of years. You performed with Kevin Moore at solo recital,
Right.
and then you've also performed with the OCC College Choir as well.
We were snowed out.
Oh no! So that performance actually didn't happen
It
then.
didn't happen. I think it might have been near Valentine's Day, but we had a huge snowstorm, and I think Carol was going out of her mind trying to figure out how we were going to make it happen and if things were going to open up. And we finally decided that it would be better not to. Um, and she was a good sport about it. We just haven't been able to reschedule.
But so first off, just tell us a little bit about beginning my studies that we're hearing from you today.
Well, it's from a cycle of Whitman songs by Hoiby called "I Was There." I I learned it in a doctoral repertory seminar, and it was probably the most accessible, the most reasonable, the most tonal, and probably one of the only groups of pieces that I liked that whole semester of rep class. So it's been great fun to learn and great fun to perform. I've not done the last song out of respect for my pianists. Joy Shipmate Joy is a humongous scale fest. He's beautifully written, but on a longer recital, I'm like, let's hold this one in reserve.
So I know the poem is set by Walt Whitman. What's the storyline behind it? What's the
I think it's kind of neat. I look at it as the start of an academic year, the start of a relationship, the start of anything where we as human beings learn and grow. Hoiby, he sets the text beautifully. The opening is kind of hesitant and sits back a little bit, and then it launches, and it grows to the point at the end of the song where the learner has achieved, I think, a victory. It's very exciting, and as the person, moves through the poetry and experiences his surroundings, he becomes more excited about learning.
excellent? Well, we're excited to hear it today. So just tell me a little bit briefly about your experience with CMM.
It's kind of longitudinal. I grew up here in town, and I would hear about CMM. There were, concerts that they were sponsoring, and they would be on different local TV talk shows and things, talking about the events. As an undergrad at Fredonia, sometimes if the competition didn't conflict with the opera, some of my colleagues would go and compete. And then I think my friend Pat Deniston was a winner back when he studied with Dan Merrick at SU. Then when I came back from Wyoming and went up north, kind of CMM fell off the radar. I was too busy trying to keep a rural program afloat. But then I think in '89, and I tried to look it up and couldn't find a program. There was a Messiah Singing that I think CMM sponsored. Dick McCullough, who I replaced here at OCC, conducted, and I was the baritone soloist. Gene Loftus was the mezzo, which is kind of cool because I taught with Gene. In fact, I'm in the office that Gene occupied when we moved into this building. So it was very cool. And my students came, and we actually did that performance and then ran over and saw the ballet. We saw Nutcracker right after. So then, I went to West Virginia, and not much contact. When I came back in 2013, Gene very nicely said, "Okay, here's what we're doing. We're sponsoring this. Could you help out?" And for 8 years, I've had keys at the ready, and I haven't sat down in my office on a Saturday in November And it's been great fun seeing the vocal competition coming through. And now I'm able to work with Neva and the committee to set the competition and to work through what they were able to accomplish this year with the competition, going virtual and having the judges, see things. My performances that you mentioned, and that one February concert that was snowed out was kind of disappointing because we had a second performance of a Kevin Moore composition that he'd written specifically for that school year. And we were going to add organ accompaniment instead of piano. And, Will Headley was great letting us into the Park Central instrument. And Steve Ewell, who teaches at Baldwinsville and is organist with me at Liverpool Pres, was going to be the organist for it. And we rehearsed and it was great. And then snow.
That's always a bummer. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a chance to perform that piece?
We did. We did it first in October. So at our fall concert. So we did get a premiere with it, and Kevin enjoyed hearing it, and then he and Steve worked together to set the accompaniment for organ, and I've not yet done that version.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting to hear that.
Someday soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. We'll plan for it.
Yep.
So you've collaborated with pianists, recently, such as Asami Hagiwara and Kevin Moore. Tell me how they and other musicians you've collaborated with have shaped your musicianship today.
Oh golly, every collaboration is a positive learning experience. My probably most significant one was with Dr. Jim Benner, who was the emeritus director of opera at WVU. He started his career as an accompanist for Columbia Artist Management, and so played for all the big singers, including his wife Frances Yend. For years, he played for Obenkirchen Children's Choir, all over the world. And Jim taught me a lot about the interaction of music and poetry. He helped me really dig into things. He was my accompanist. He could make a piano reduction sound like any orchestra, and he did that up until his 80s. But he translated opera for his productions at WVU. We used his Hansel and Gretel translation, and it's fantastic. And he really tried to get the English and the German to fit better. We know what some singers' translations are like the 24 Italian songs in the yellow version. Not the greatest singing texts. Jim really worked though to dig into that literature and to make it come alive. And I've been able to take that up through my performances. It certainly has helped me with my conducting and working with students and letting them see giving them insight to the pieces that we perform. Then my accompanists when I conduct, Steve Ewell, Alan Lynch from the Cathedral, who's my accompanist right now for the choir at the college, Catherine Chiarelli, phenomenal accompanist. They've really helped me to unlock repertoire. Kevin and Asami are great chamber musicians. And so it's been fun to take pieces apart with them, put them back together, and really working collaboratively, finding out how things work and just how to communicate better with the pieces. The recording you'll hear with Asami was probably a couple of rehearsals right at the start of the semester, because this was for our first convocation. We had a subsequent performance later in the semester when we had a little more time and we had a convocation space available. And we've agreed that we want to do a full recital together, and there's a potential collaboration with another artist in the spring if the fates allow.
Mm-hmm. But
yep.
Hey, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you, David.
Thank you very much, Robbie.
Absolutely.
And thanks for the opportunity to take beginning my studies out.
Absolutely. And just thanks for the opportunity to get to talk.
All right.
Well, you take care.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. All right, bye.